Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video we are going to talk about local classes. So in the previous video we saw inner nested classes is when you have a class directly under another class, and now local classes are specific for methods and initializer blocks. So let's create a new class here. Let's call it outer classes test02, and we are going to create the main method and the same attribute name that we have here. But I'm going to change the name. Midoriya. Okay, so imagine that we have a method. Let's call it void print. And inside this method, or inside the initializer block, I can create other classes. For example, we have now a local class inside the method. And this local class will have the same access that we have in the previous one. Actually, we need another method here because since this is a class, we need a method. So we can create here, for example, public void print name. And we can call it salt name. So pretty straightforward. It's just creating a class inside method. And in the previous one, it was something like this, but now we are with this class inside the method. And what changes basically is the way we call it. In the previous video, we were calling like this. But right now, we don't have that option anymore. So if we create here outer classes 2, there is no way for us to call this local class. The only way we have to call is inside the method. Remember, when the method finishes, it just dies. So there is no way for you to call this class, this object, from outside the method. So how can you do it? You just have to create object of this class and call the method. So you can call new local class, and then you can either assign a local variable and call the method, for example, print name, or you can, if you are going to just use like this, you can add directly here dot print name, and then you remove here and here. So you are just instantiating a new object and calling directly the print name. And now you can call outer dot print. Why am I not calling directly? Remember, this is not static, so I cannot call from static context. Ctrl Shift F10, and as you can see, we have the name. So aside from this, what actually changes? There is one very important rule. Imagine, and because sometimes you do have access to methods, attributes inside the method, or you create your own attributes, local attributes. So for example, let's say that we have last name. Now, last name is a local attribute. Technically, it will be alive while this method is being executed. And can we access inside our local class? The answer is yes, but with some restrictions. What are these restrictions? Up to Java 7, you were obliged to have final. So if you didn't have final, you would not be able to use directly into your local class. What's the reason? Because the object that you have here may outlive the method that you have. Remember, method, once you just finish using, the local variables will die. But the problem is this class may have lifespan a little bit bigger than the method itself. So you cannot change this variable. So from Java 7 up to Java 7, you had to add final, but from Java 8, there is something called effectively final. It means if you do not change this later after you are creating, it's effectively final. If you try to change for some reason, it's not effectively final anymore. That's why you have this exception saying that you cannot access from inner classes if they are not final or effectively final. And why can we access the name? Well, the name is pretty simple. The class that we have here will have a very long lifespan. So while this class is alive, these will be may have a lifespan that's shorter. Probably, no, actually it's not may. It will have a lifespan that is shorter than the other class. And of course this one as well. So there is no way for you to use print or the local class without the other class. That's why if you want, you can change the name for whatever you need, that it's not going to affect the use inside the inner class. But if you have local attributes, yes, it needs to be effectively final or final. And the same thing is for attributes. If you have a parameter, you can use the parameter as well. But the thing is, the parameter also needs to be effectively final. If you change something, if you try to add another thing to the parameter, you have same compilation error. And to make sure, you can also make it final. So this way, it's never going to change. So basically, I have to change here. This is how local classes work. I'm creating inside a method, but you can also create this inside a static block. But of course, you will not have access to these two. So this is it about the local class. Let's continue with more topics in the next video. Bye.